Today, I'm going to share with you some of the things that we eat around here as frugal people. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that I'm doing while those foods are cooking. I'm still focusing on using things that I have around the house, and that helps me get other things done around the house. So today I was like, what could I make? I'm kind of tired of the stews and the soups and the casseroles. Let's make braised beef tips over rice. That is a family favorite. It's super easy to make. I bought some of those beef tips on sale. I had a pound of those that I pulled out of the freezer. I put them in my little crock pot and I added 5 tablespoons of my homemade onion soup mix. Now, all this is half of a cup of dried onions, 3 teaspoons of parsley, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half of a teaspoon of sugar, and an eighth of a teaspoon of pepper. That's all that goes into onion soup mix, and it's so expensive in the store. So I make my own and I keep it for times that I would make something that I want to have, like a beef flavor. I used to put this in my pot roasts back when I could afford a pot roast, but I put it in my beef tips. I also added some beef powder base, maybe you call it bouillon. I added some of my fresh celery from my garden, a little bit of water, and I let that cook the whole day until it was just falling apart. And I had 1 can of gluten-free mushroom soup left in my cabinet. And I don't normally buy that, but it'd been sitting there for a while. I've been focusing on using things up in my pantry. So when that was just falling apart tender, I mixed it in, and this is what it looked like. This is beef tips in gravy, and it's so delicious, and you put it over rice and it makes a complete meal. You can serve a vegetable or a salad on the side if you want, and I would show you it over the rice, but it's already gone. I think we all get tired of cooking from time to time, and that's one of the ways that I don't get so tired of cooking is I just make easy stuff like that that takes minimal attention away from whatever I want to do during the day. And while that was cooking, I worked on posting some things on eBay. I've had a few of you ask, what are you selling? What do you decide to sell? How do you decide to sell it? So I'm going to show you a few of the things that I decided to sell while I was making lunch. I thought I would show you a few of the things that I've decided to sell on eBay. When I'm going through my decluttering, I decide whether it's worth my time to sell or whether it's not worth my time. And a lot of times I just donate it. But I've been picking about 1 tote and keeping that full of items that I put on eBay. And as you can see, these kind of have a theme. They're a little loud. I love them, but they're stylish, but they're mediums. And I just can't fit into a medium. I think those days are gone, but I loved all of these items so much. And that went into my decision to decide to sell them rather than donate. Tonight, we are having company. My son and his wife, my daughter and her fiance are coming for supper. But as you can see, I'm having a video with you guys right now. How do I have time to do that? I make stuff that is easy that I can throw together at the last minute. And I'm going to use a few of my leftovers in the fridge to go into my meal. Serving leftovers in your food to guess? Oh my goodness. I'm putting this pork roast on to cook while I am doing other things today. And that's how I get stuff done and don't make it hard on myself. That pork roast was very affordable. In fact, it was $1.99 a pound, and the whole thing was under $10. And it's going to feed all of us first and seconds if we would like it. All it is you take Cajun seasoning and you cover all the sides. You sear it in a pan on the stove on all the sides put it into your pan, and then make a glaze of a stick of butter, a half of a cup of molasses, and a cup of chicken stock. You boil that glaze on the stove, you pour it over, you let it cook. You maybe turn it off and on during the day and check on it. And then before I serve it, maybe a couple of hours before I serve it, I'll slice it up in the turkey roaster so that that glaze can really soak into all of the slices. And then I'm ready to serve it. Super, super easy. Tonight's meal is just going to be simple. I'm going to have some green beans on the side, and then I'm going to make some chicken flavored rice and add some leftover sliced fresh carrots that I had cooked. I had just a little tiny bowl of these. I chopped them up in little pieces. I'm going to mix them in the rice, and that will use up those carrots and also make the rice a little extra special. I've been doing a lot of cleaning this week. I've been vacuuming down a lot of dust bunnies, getting back in corners, behind beds, behind furniture. I've been doing a lot of that behind the scenes deep cleaning, getting ready for the holidays. And a lot of times when we are working hard like that around our house, we don't feel like cooking. But I still cook at home. I just make it easy on myself and decide what can I make that is not going to take too much time away from the projects that I want to get done today. I don't have time to run somewhere, grab something and bring home. Where I live, that would take an hour at a minimum to go get a pizza. So I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm not going to add to my budget just because I want to do some deep cleaning. I'm going to look at the stuff I have and say, what can I make that's easy, warm, filling, nourishing, and comforting while I'm doing these projects. And then I know this food is ready to go. And sometimes I'm lucky enough, there's leftovers. That braised beef over rice. My husband took the last portion today with him for lunch. We had it yesterday on a very rainy day. It's raining again today. We need the rain desperately, but we've had about a week of rain, and using things out of my pantry and making it where I don't have to leave the house, get cold or wet, and have a hot meal when I'm done doing all these tasks. That's a great reward on top of being frugal. I've been able to get so much stuff gone and decluttered this summer. I'm really proud of myself. But I thought I would share with you my thinking when it goes into how to decide what to keep, what to let go of, and what to sell. I know that's an area that a lot of people struggle with. So, how I decide what to sell, again, I look at some of my favorite items that's hard for me to part with, even if they're the wrong size, or maybe I run across something and I'm like, no one is coming back to get this. It's not mine. Maybe it's one of the kids. No one wants it. No one's ever going to ask about it again. Maybe I can get some money out of it because it's still in really good shape, or it's something that is um, something people might want. Like I had a Harry Potter cape from Halloween that belonged to one of my kids. I was able to sell that on eBay. It was in great shape and I had it stored in a box. So I look at stuff like that and see, does it have some value? Is it worth my time to post it? And then if I think that it is, I do. But I have a container limit. I have one container that I limit myself to. And those things are for sale. When I sell some things, I'll look for some more things to fill that container as I run across them. If they are something that's really nice, maybe repurchasable, but I don't think it's worth my time, I can't use it. I am not going to use it. I don't intend to use it. Then I might just go ahead and donate it. I have gotten rid of so much stuff that was scrap to Goodwill. I have sent so many trash bags full of things that I had washed that maybe they weren't perfect, they weren't in great resellable condition, but the fabric could be recycled. And that's really important to me, to see if I can recycle as much stuff as I can as I'm decluttering. If it's not sellable, if I can't give it to someone, if nobody wants it, and it still has maybe a recycle value to it, I'm going to try to do that so that it doesn't end up in landfills. And they do accept those things when they're clean and maybe they're torn or they have a hole or they have a stain, but you've washed them. So I've got rid of a lot of stuff like that that I just had taking up space, and I was able to thin things out. Maybe I had stuff that lost their elastic. I don't sew. I think I could figure it out, but the time that it would take and the value of the item or how old the item already is, sometimes it's just not worth it. So we all have to make those decisions as we're going through our things. And then if it's something that clearly needs thrown away, maybe it's moldy, maybe it's not easily cleaned to even be donated, maybe it's ruined in some way, I will dispose of those things. But I try to keep that category to a minimum because I just don't like throwing stuff away. But that's just me. I'm not I don't like to waste things, so I try really hard to find a way to repurpose, recycle, reuse something a lot, or donate it, give it away. And if I can't and it doesn't fall in any of those other categories, then I will dispose of it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's just a little behind the scenes video of how I get things done while I'm still cooking at home, how I can meet my goals without spending money to do it. And I hope that it inspires someone out there today to maybe take a look at your own home, your own pantry, your own cooking style, and see if you can make it easier on yourself in some way by cooking some easy stuff while you're doing your projects. Thanks for watching today, and I hope to see you in the next video.